I'm so thankful to get another opportunity to be in the association of all the wonderful devotees who are present on this call. Please accept my humble obeisances, dear Subala Gopal Prabhuji, Baswati Mataji, Nick Prabhuji, Sukriti Mataji, Dandavad Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Today is a wonderful festival of Snan Yatra in Jagannath Puri, where the deities are given bath and taken into 2 weeks of no darshan, and after which there is the Jagannath Rath Yatra. So let's sing a bhajan to worship Lord Jagannath today for this wonderful festival where he's given a bath with many pots of water. We can sing Jagannath Ashtakam written by Adi Shankaracharya, and this is in Sanskrit. कदाचित् कालिन्दीतविपिन सङ्गीतकरावो मुदा बीरिनारीवदनकमलास्वदमधुपा रमा शम्भुब्रह्मरपतिगणेशाचितपादो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भावातु मे भुजे सव्यवेणुं शिरसि शिखिपीचं कटिताटे दुकूलं नेत्रान्ते सहचरकटाक्षं विदधाते सदा श्रीमद्वृन्दावनवसति लीलापरिचायो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भवतु मे महाबोधिस्थिरे कनकरुचिरनीलशिखारे वसन् प्रसदान्ता सहजबलभद्रेण बलिना सुभद्रा मध्यस्था सकलसुरसेवा शरदो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भवतु मे कृपापारवारा सजलजलदश्रेणिरुचिरो रमावाणि रामा स्फुरदामलपङ्के रुकमुका सुरेन्द्रैराराध्या श्रुतिगणशिखा गीतचरितो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भवतु मे ऋतारूढगच्छां पतिमिलितभूदेव पताले स्तुतिप्रादुर्भावां प्रतिपदाम् उपाकर्ण्य सदाया दया सिन्धुर्बन्धु सकलजगतां सिन्धुसुताया जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भवतु मे परब्रह्मपीठा कुवलय दलोत्फुलनयनो निवासी नीलाद्रौ निहितचरणोऽनन्तशिरासि रसानन्दराधा सरसवपुरालिङ्गनसुखो जगन्नाथस्वामी नयन पदगामी भवतु मे नवयाचे राज्यं न च कनकमाणिक्य विभावा न याचेऽहं रम्यां सकलजनकाम्यां वरवादुं सदा काले काले प्रमथपतिना गीतचरितो जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पदगामी भावातु मे हरा त्वं संसारां द्रुततारामसारां सुरपते हरा त्वं पपानां विततिमापरां यादवपते अहो दीननाथे निहितचरणो निश्चितमिदम् जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पदगामी भवातु मे जगन्नाथष्टाकां पुण्यपतेत् प्रयाता शुचि सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा विष्णुलोकं स गच्छति जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पदगामी भवातु मे जगन्नाथ स्वामी नयन पदगामी भवातु मे Hare Krishna. Translation. Sometimes in great happiness, Lord Jagannath makes a loud concert with his flute in the groves on the banks of the Yamuna. He is like a bumblebee tasting the beautiful lotus like faces of the cowherd damsels of Raja. And great personalities such as Lakshmi, Shiva, Brahma, Indra, and Ganesha worship his lotus feet. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. In his left hand, Lord Jagannatha holds a flute. On his head, he wears peacock feathers, and on his hips, he wears fine yellow silken cloth. From the corners of his eyes, he bestows sidelong glances upon his loving devotees, and he always reveals himself through his pastimes in his divine abode of Vrindavan. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. On the shore of the great ocean, within a large palace atop the brilliant golden Nilachala hill, Lord Jagannatha resides with his powerful brother Balabhadra and his sister Subhadra, who sits between them. May that Jagannath Swami, who bestows the opportunity for devotional service upon all godly souls, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannatha is an ocean of mercy and as beautiful as a row of blackish rain clouds. He is the storehouse of bliss for Lakshmi and Saraswati, and his face resembles a spotless full-blown lotus. The best of demigods and sages worship him, and the Upanishad sings his glories. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. When Lord Jagannatha moves along the road on his Ratha Yatra car, at every step, large assemblies of Brahmanas loudly chant prayers and sing songs for his pleasure. Hearing their hymns, Lord Jagannatha becomes very favorably disposed towards them. He is the ocean of mercy and the true friend of all the world. May that Jagannath Swami, along with his consort Lakshmi, who was born from the ocean of nectar, be the object of my vision. Lord Jagannatha, whose eyes resembles full-blown lotus petals, is the ornament on Lord Brahma's head. He resides on Nilachala hill, and his lotus feet placed on the heads of Anantadeva. Overwhelmed by the mellows of love, he joyfully embraces Srimati Radharani's body, which is like a cool pond. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. I do not pray for a kingdom, Nor do I pray for gold, rubies, or wealth. I do not ask for a beautiful wife as desired by all men. I simply pray that Jagannath Swami, whose glories Lord Shiva always sings, may be the constant object of my vision. O Lord of the demigods, please quickly remove this useless material existence I am undergoing. O Lord of the Yadus, please destroy this vast shoreless ocean of sins. Alas, this is certain. Lord Jagannath bestows his lotus feet upon those who feel themselves fallen and have no shelter in this world but him. May that Jagannath Swami be the object of my vision. The self restrained, virtuous soul who recites these 8 verses glorifying Lord Jagannatha becomes cleansed of all sins and duly proceeds to Lord Vishnu's abode. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share these 8 verses in Jagannath Ashtakam that wonderfully describes Supreme Lord Jagannath, who is very merciful and is willing to give himself to all his wonderful devotees, especially during the festival of Rath Yatra. And today is the Snan Yatra festival, so we have the opportunity to meditate on the Lord's wonderful pastimes, and we can now read Bhagavad Gita since Nilagovind Prabhuji is not able to join today. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 38. Sukha Sukha dukkhe same kritva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam padam avapshasi. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda, His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. Do thou fight for the sake of fighting, without considering happiness or distress, loss or gain, victory or defeat, and by so doing you shall never incur sin. Purport. Lord Krishna now directly says that Arjuna should fight for the sake of fighting because he desires the battle. There is no consideration of happiness or distress, profit or loss, victory or defeat in the activities of Krishna consciousness. That everything should be performed for the sake of Krishna is transcendental consciousness. So there is no reaction to material activities. He who acts for his own sense gratification, either in goodness or in passion, is subject to the reaction, good or bad. But he who has completely surrendered himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness is no longer obliged to anyone, nor is he a debtor to anyone, as one is in the ordinary course of activities. It is said, Devarishi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitranam Nakinkaro Nayam Rinicha Rajan Sarvatmanaya Sarvana Saranyam Gato Mukundam Parihritya Kartam. Translation. Anyone who has completely surrendered unto Krishna, Mukunda, giving up all other duties, is no longer a debtor, nor is he obliged to anyone, nor the demigods, nor the sages, nor the people in general, nor kinsmen, nor humanity, nor forefathers. That is the indirect hint given by Krishna to Arjuna in the verse, and the matter will be more clearly explained in the following verses. Hare Krishna. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत अभय चरणारविंद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरू श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमा ओं विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं श्रीपरमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees, thank you very much for the opportunity to share this wonderful verse from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 38, where Krishna is instructing Arjuna to start fighting. Arjuna has given so many reasons that he should not fight. He said he is feeling a lot of compassion for his kinsmen. He said he is confused and he gave up his Gandiva and told Krishna that he will not fight. He has now fully surrendered to Krishna and he's asking Krishna for instructions. And Krishna has been giving all the reasons why he should fight. And in this verse, he's saying he should fight for the sake of fighting. In the previous verse, we discussed how, as a Kshatriya, Arjuna has to do his duty of fighting. And in this verse, Krishna is saying that what he wants Arjuna to do. So it is very clear what Krishna wants is for Arjuna to fight and not take the choice of not fighting and going to the forest or giving up his weapons and not worrying about doing his duty as a Kshatriya. He said, in order to stop all the violence, he can just go away and not fight. So all of us have the same problem of not knowing what choice to make in life. And here, Arjuna has the privilege of getting his friend, his spiritual master, and Supreme Lord Himself telling him what is the right choice to make. And the right choice is whatever Krishna wants. And he wants him to fight. And Krishna is saying there is no sin incurred if he does his duty, especially if we understand what Krishna wants. And if we do that, it is considered a karma. There is no reaction to the activities we do in service of the Lord. So if we are at a level we can do everything in the service of the Lord, then our life is successful because we don't incur any good or bad karma that we have to come back to this world to go through. Any pious activities we do, like giving charity, being good to others, taking care of our family, um, just for just as a duty of a householder. If you're not having the consciousness of Krishna consciousness and thinking that we are doing it because we are somebody, we are a father, we are a son, or uh, or we are a spouse. Um, so if we have the mentality that we are someone and identifying with the body and we do things according to the relationships of this body, then we incur karma. So the good and bad activities we do are accruing in our bank balance that we will have to, even after this life, take another body to come and either enjoy or suffer in this material world. But Krishna clearly states in this verse that if we do everything in service of the Lord, there is no karma incurred because it's all spiritual. And all devotees who take to Krishna consciousness are nishkama. Nishkama means they're not attached to the results of what they're doing. They're not doing it for the results. They're not fruitive workers. They're just doing it for the sake of pleasing Krishna and his pure devotees. So since we don't have the association of Krishna to be with us every second and um, and instruct us what is the right choice to make. That's why Krishna has been very merciful to bring us all into this association of devotees. Have senior Vaishnavas to help. So Krishna's representatives are with us all the time, and if we can get what would please them and what would please Krishna, and if we follow those instructions very carefully, then Krishna is guaranteeing us that there is no karma that are incurred by doing this activity. And it is getting us closer to the Lord and preparing us for the greatest examination we will have, which is the time we leave this body. And everybody has to go through that examination. This life is a preparation, and death is actually an examination. And only if we practice Krishna consciousness throughout our life that we can pass the examination with flying colors, where we think about the Lord and while we leave this body. It is very difficult or almost impossible for a person who is so attached to his material circumstances and material duties to think about the Lord at the time of leaving, because one is conditioned all throughout their life and through innumerable lifetimes to only think about the material pleasures that that was giving them the so-called happiness, and would be thinking about all those at the time of death. And because one's thought at the time of death determines what one's next body is, many souls have been stuck in this cycle of life and death in this material world that starts from the topmost loka of Brahma Loka and down to the hellish planets of Patala. Every soul living in these worlds are suffering their karma. So our most prudent thing to do is to stop this cycle of life and death due to the karma we accrue throughout our life. And the best thing to do is do every activity as a service to the Lord. So, how can we do that? We all have duties, just like Arjuna is having his duty of a Kshatriya to fight the war. And Krishna says, doing, doing one's duty is not going to accrue karma if they're doing it for Krishna. So clearly, Krishna is explaining how all the debts that one have to one's family, the demigods, his kinsmen, his country, all all the debts are taken care when one does service to the Supreme Lord. So there is these debts are called out as Pitrarin. It's called rin is called debt. In Sanskrit, the word rin means debt, and every person, they have different debts in this world, because the situation we are in, we did not create. We did not choose the body we would get. We did not choose our loving parents, our wonderful relatives who all took a lot of effort to raise us as kids and bring us into um, a situation where we can take care of ourselves. This this means there is a lot of debt we have to the society, to our parents, to the demigods, and all these debts, Krishna is saying, is taken care when we do Krishna consciousness. As Srila Prabhupada always says, if we pour water to the root of the tree, the whole tree is nourished. And Krishna is the root of everybody and everything in this world, because he is the cause of all causes and the supreme creator. If he if we worship him and if we serve him and if we try to please him, it's like watering the root of the tree, and the whole world is nourished. If we were to just pour water on a leaf of the tree or a branch on the tree is not going to get nourished, because the leaves and the branches, they all need the water to come from the root. So our best choice we can make is to pour the water on the root of the tree, and then our debt we have to everyone is satisfied, because when Krishna is satisfied, the whole world is satisfied. There are many instances in the Puranas which describe how when the Lord is satisfied, the whole world is satisfied. One such instance is when Durvasa Rishi in the Mahabharata came to visit the Pandavas while they were in exile in the forest. Duryodhana had given this idea to Durvasa Rishi to go visit the Pandavas in the forest. But his intentions were ulterior. He wanted Durvasa Rishi to curse the Pandavas. So we see how this evil person had cheated the Pandavas and sent them in exile for 12 years and then have 1 year of incognito. His idea was to find them while they were in incognito because the rules were to give them another 12 years if they were caught while hiding for that last 1 year. So he wanted to perpetually keep his his brothers away so that he can be king. So even though he was very cruel and stripped them of their kingdom and sent them to the forest, he was again trying to hurt them by sending a uh, very angry rishi, the Durvasa Rishi, who is an incarnation of Lord Shiva, and he's very easily angered, and he doles out curses whenever he's angry. So Duryodhana has known this, and he knew that the Pandavas were blessed with a vessel from the sun god that helped them to feed everyone. But once Draupadi finishes eating herself for a meal, then no food will come from this magic vessel that was given by the sun god to the Pandavas. So he planned that uh, Durvasa Rishi goes there after Draupadi had finished her meal. And Durvasa Rishi came to this ashram, and he said he has hundreds of disciples with him. He's going to go take a shower um, in the river nearby, and he'll be coming back for prasad. And as good householders who welcome great personalities to their home, the great brahmanas and sannyasis, yeah, Yudhishthira Maharaj and the five Pandavas welcomed Durvasa Rishi, but in the back of their mind, they were very fearful because Draupadi had already finished her meal, and and the magic plate would not give them any more food to feed hundreds of disciples at the same time. So they were praying very, very hard to Krishna because that's the only, Krishna is the only shelter for the fallen, just like we read in the Jagannath Ashtakam. The Lord is the protector of the fallen who has no hope. And if one surrenders to the Lord, he comes running to rescue them. And that's what happened. The Lord came running. Even though he was away in Dwaraka, he came to the forest to help the Pandavas. And he came and he asked Draupadi, "Do you have bhog to offer me? Do you?" And she said, "Sorry, Krishna, I've already finished my meal and I can't get any more food at this point." So Krishna said, "Don't worry, just bring me that plate." And Pandavas are always taking Krishna's instructions, and they brought the magic plate to Krishna, and Krishna was able to find a small morsel of food stuck to took the plate, and he took that small morsel and ate it. And when he ate that, Durvasa Rishi and all his followers, the hundreds of them who were bathing in the banks of the river, suddenly felt that they were so stuffed with food and they could not even eat another morsel. and they were burping, and they were too full, and they were feeling embarrassed that they told their hosts that they will come back soon to have a meal, but they didn't have any room left in their stomach to eat anything more. So they decided to just leave after their shower without going back to the hosts, the Pandavas. And this way, the Pandavas were saved from getting cursed from by Durvasa Rishi because the Lord intervened. And just by the Lord taking a small morsel, he pacified the hunger of hundreds of others. So we see that if we serve the Lord in the smallest way possible, he takes care of every other entity who is who is also hungry. So we can understand from this pastime and from this verse that we just read that if we serve the Lord, we serve everybody else. We serve the Lord by making him good bhog in the temple or at our home when we serve the Lord what he likes, and then serve the prasad to others. We serve everyone. But if we think ourselves as great philanthropists and cook food without offering to the Lord and give that in charity, it's not going to help us in the long run, because all it's doing is giving us some pious credit that could probably take us to the heavenly planets. And we know, even though we get a life in a heavenly planet, Brahmaloka, Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, Bhuvarloka. So, all these heavenly planets, it is possible for us to go there by doing pious activities. And if we go there, we are still subjected to karma. And we see that how, like Indra in the Indra Loka, the Devendra is the head of all the demigods, and he has a lot of comforts, uh, but he's always envious of others who might get his position, and so he's always doing activities to prevent anybody else from taking his position. We see that throughout many stories in Srimad Bhagavatam, where Indra is stopping the Ashwamedha Yajna of many kings like Prithu Maharaj. He's always on the lookout for nobody else to get the pious credits so that they will not come and usurp him. So we see that even if we have a lot of pious credits and we go to the heavenly planets, we still have the mentality of lust, anger, greed, pride, illusion, and because of that, we fall down, just like Indra also had to fall down because um, he he had killed a great devotee known as Vritrashura. And because of that, he had to incur the sins of what he did. And during that time, another person, Nahusha, became Indra. So we see here, even though we have many pious credits and we go to the heavenly planets, and if we become Indra, we are again subjected to the laws of material nature, and we incur sins, and then we come down. Indra was also cursed to become a pig in a pig body, and Indra was just so satisfied taking care of um, the piglets and eating stool. And when Narada Muni came to call him, he was thinking this is very satisfying to live a life of a pig. So there are so many instances that we see that just living a life, a karmi life, a fruitive worker life, is only going to take us to a higher planetary system where there is more comfort than suffering, and then falling down from there to hellish conditions. So we have been cycling through these 8,400,000 different bodies and through different planets, the hellish, earthly, and the heavenly planets for time immemorial. So Srila Prabhupada says, just give this one life to Krishna and see what the difference it'll make. Not make the same mistakes we have been doing for so many lifetimes. Let's all get the mercy of the Lord, where we can surrender ourselves to His lotus feet and do what He needs, He wants us to do, and please Him by pleasing His pure devotees. We automatically please Him. So we all have a great opportunity to come together every day and discuss about Krishna, and these activities we do are getting us into the right track of performing our karma instead of karma or vikarma, which means pious or impious activities. We are doing Krishna conscious devotional service activities when we all come together, discuss about the Lord, discuss about His word from the Bhagavad Gita, which are His instructions, which clearly tells us how we have to live our life. So let's take the make the best use of this opportunity that the Lord has given us and not fall astray, but do everything we can to endeavor in Krishna consciousness and fully surrender to Him and follow His instructions and please His pure devotees. And then we can also go home back to Godhead, to Vaikunta or Goloka Vrindavan, where there is no suffering and we can enjoy eternal pastimes with the Lord. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Dandat Pranam, dear devotees. Now we can take some reflections, corrections, questions from the verse we read today.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji and Nityanama Krishna Shri Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for your wonderful explanation of this chapter and also singing wonderful Jagannath bhajan on this auspicious day of Snan Yatra, where Lord Jagannath has, we see that when we are sick, we go to the doctor. But when we are so sick that we cannot even move, the Lord comes to us. When we have that hankering. So here we can see that Lord Jagannath is coming out to give mercy to all of us. I mean, at least me, because sometimes we are so sick that we don't even know that we are sick also. And also you mentioned the whole thing, how we can get rid of this material, like the wonderful story of you mentioned about Durvasa Muni. So if we pour water to the roots, every stem, leaf, branch, even if it is a huge banyan tree, every stem, leaf, everything gets nourished. So in that way, it is very difficult for us to satisfy everyone. Just even if we talk about the demigod, there are, 33 million demigods, and of course there are so many, jivas. But if we offer, our love and devotion to the Lord, everyone will get automatically satisfied. Because in this day and age, as we know, there are a lot of quarrels going on just because of ego. But if we can see there is the Lord Paramatma in everybody's heart, in every atom, then we'll realize we'll not have that much ego, and these wars will not happen. Not even war, our conflict with our, maybe, our partners, or neighbors, so anything. But so if we can see, be able to see Paramatma in their heart, will respect them and treat them nicely. So the whole world will become Krishna conscious. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please correct. Hare Krishna Dandavat.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam. Thank you so much for sharing that wonderful analogy about Jagannath Rath Yatra, how the doctor comes out when the patient is very sick, right to his home. Like that, Jagannath is coming out for Rath Yatra to give his mercy to everybody he sees while he's taking this wonderful ride on his Jagannath Rath Yatra. Rath. And thank you for that reflection, Prabhuji, and also telling us how important it is to serve the root of the tree and nourish the whole tree. Thank you for inspiring us every day, because you're not just saying it, and you're living it so well, telling us how to realize we are the spirit souls and we are part and parcel of the Lord. And because everybody is a part and parcel of the Lord, there's no need for fighting, because we are all brothers and sisters in the service of the Lord. Thank you for that wonderful message, Prabhuji and Dr. Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I see a question in the chat.
Yes. How some devotees are born in a deep materialistic family, how can they continue their bhakti journey in such family where there is no support for bhakti? Hare Krishna, such a wonderful question by Rachana Mataji. So we cannot choose who our parents are, and however, all of this is justified based on the karma we have. If if we do some pious activities, or if we get some agyada suhriti in our previous life, that is the reason why we have the opportunity to be in the association of devotees right now. Because at some point we must have pleased some pure devotee of the Lord, and or just like Ajamil unknowingly chanted the names of the Lord, and because of that we have had this opportunity to learn about Krishna from great representative of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada, coming in contact with devotees, getting the books, etc., to to know who we truly are. And we are all in an identity crisis. So no matter what our situation is, whether we are born in a materialistic family or we are born in an atheistic family, we have to make the best use of the opportunities we have received, the gifts of Krishna consciousness that Srila Prabhupada has conferred upon us. It doesn't matter whether we are in a meat eater family or in a Yavana family or the color of our skin, nothing matters. And Srila Prabhupada clearly showed us that anyone who's able to take up Krishna consciousness can go back home, back to Godhead. How many souls who would have not known about Krishna or Bhakti took up to this process, and they are all have gone to the spiritual world? how many of them have surrendered their life for the Lord? And we are so fortunate to see many generations of devotees that Srila Prabhupada initiated. And if you think about the, the great stalwart devotees who are great acharyas, who Srila Prabhupada was able to convert into devotees, if you take their life, their childhood, it was very sinful, or in a home where there was a lot of meat eating, illicit activities, drugs. But all these persons who were hippies at that point, because they took to the Maha Mantra and took the instructions of Srila Prabhupada seriously, from hippies they became happies. So it doesn't matter where we come from, what we did. It just, Srila Prabhupada was asked, how much time would it take to surrender to the Lord? And Srila Prabhupada said, just a second. If you can change your mind, if your mindset from the material consciousness and say, Krishna, I am yours, do what you want with me. If you are able to say that sincerely, it's just that 1 second, you can change your destination from where you were headed, regardless of where you were born, what material situation you were in, what you were doing all your life. Nothing matters if from that point forward you take to Krishna consciousness. And we know the story of Jagai and Madai, how sinful they were. However, when they got the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they became great acharyas, Jagannatha and Madhavananda, Jagai and Madai, who were considered to be the worst people anyone can imagine, doing all illicit activities. However, their past did not count because they took up this practice seriously. So we have all this opportunity, and we have to also give this message. It's upon us, because those who first help themselves and then preach to others are very dear to Krishna. So it's upon us also to reach out to the souls who have no notion about Krishna or doesn't understand the purpose of their life. So that's why there is all these outreach programs and book distribution to reach the people who, due to their previous karma, are just living a life full of sin and going through the cycle of life and death in different bodies. So it's upon us to, once we have attained a certain amount of purity, a conviction, and faith in the process, to do our best to bring others who have no contact with Krishna consciousness to understand this process. So that way, others are nourished as well. But everything that happens in this world is justified because a person who is not having contact, it is because of their own karma, they have got that body. So, so those, like you're asking, those who are in a materialistic family, that's because of their karma. They wanted to be away from Krishna, and all of us did. We were all with Krishna once upon a time, but then we wanted to enjoy away from Krishna, and Krishna created this material world to see, go Lord over the material world and see if you can find happiness away from me. It is His mercy that He created this world, which is like a prison house, to allow us to consider what we want, and we can experiment here. And after many lifetimes, we realize that there's no happiness in selfish sense enjoyment. These fleeting, temporary pleasures are nothing compared to the spiritual happiness one gets by serving the Lord. So once we come to that realization, then we can live a life of Krishna consciousness. So all this being born in different families are justified, but if we capitalize on this great opportunity of Krishna consciousness that we have been given, we can get over being born again in a materialistic family. And Krishna says, wherever we stop in this life, we will get an opportunity to continue from where we stopped. There's no diminution or loss in this process. Anything else we invest our time, it's going to be lost. But if we invest any time in Krishna consciousness, even though in this life we were not able to purify ourselves completely, Krishna puts us in a Vaishnava family, or in a family where we have enough resources that we don't have to work night and day to sustain ourselves. So very affluent family where we can think about the Lord and start from where we left off. So um, for those who don't have opportunities for that, that's how we can bring Krishna's mercy to all of them, by preaching and distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. And and uh, even if we are in a materialistic or atheistic family, by taking to Krishna consciousness, we can improve our situation and be born in a auspicious family. Or if we can purify us completely, we can go back home, back to Godhead. Thank you, Mataji. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandavat Pranam. I mean, actually, Prabhuji, yesterday I went somewhere and somebody told me that some person is born in a family where she always chants Radha Nam. So when I heard,
Mm.
I felt that the person is chanting because Radharani or Sri Krishna wants her to chant. I mean, it is a mercy that she has it on her. That's why she's chanting. But the whole family is worried that she's chanting, she becomes a sannyasi, and what will happen? I told that it's not that easy to become a sannyasi. It's not a piece of cake that anybody can become a sannyasi just by chanting like few rounds or few days. Like it is a deep austerity. But everywhere wherever I go, I feel people saying that they'll become a sannyasi, they'll become a sannyasi, but that doesn't happen. I mean, we are like in deep conditioned state, and we are so sinful. Even after chanting, we are so sinful. We are not at that stage where where we can like feel Krishna's presence, or feel anything like that. It's just because Srila Prabhupada has said, and we are chanting, and we are just trying to reach to that stage. That is what I felt, that like I mean, that person is chanting and that person is purifying the house by her chant. Like if other person are not chanting, but still she's purifying the house. But I mean, I don't know why some when somebody is doing good, they are not able to accept it. So I really felt like very bad for the person as well as for the family who doesn't realize that what gem they have in the family. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you very much for sharing this the situation that where, because devotees are thought as mad people or fools by a materialistic society, because the rules of Kali Yuga are the opposite of what is actually required. So we should not follow the rules of a society that inculcates materialism in this whole world. Wherever we go, there is um, there is praise for lust, anger, greed. So if a person is just running behind money, that person is considered to be the best. And when the very rich people, they build a home that's a skyscraper, that's considered to be good. But if the same person, if they give some some donation to the temple, it said, "Oh, they're just wasting their money. What a fool!" So we shouldn't take the reactions of a society in Kali Yuga that is completely fallen, because the rules of this society are not that is in that is aligned to Krishna consciousness, or what Krishna instructs in Bhagavad Gita, because the real manual for life is Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And the instructions of our spiritual master are the true ways to live our life. So we don't need to take what others feel, the materialist feels about us, because we are backed by true bona fide instructions coming all the way from Krishna, and not something that's based on a lie. When a lie is said many times, it becomes a so called truth. And when one follows that so called truth, it becomes their character. And then that becomes their culture. And if we follow the culture based on a lie someone said many years back, and everybody keeps following that, we are living a lie. And thankfully, due to the devotees of the Lord, we can see what is right and what is wrong, and materialistic society is not able to see that. And so we should never feel crestfallen or sad when the materialistic society judges us for the good things we do. And we should be we should be extremely happy when a materialist criticizes us. We should think, yes, we are going in the right direction, because they are completely deluded by Maya, by living in the culture of blind men, blind leading the blind. So, Mataji, never feel disheartened by any criticism or anything you get from the material world, because if you can please those who are close to Krishna, that's all that matters. Thank you for that wonderful example.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for the answer. I really feel strong now.
Thank you, Mataji, for discussing these wonderful topics. It inspires all of us.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anybody else would like to discuss anything we discussed today, or inspire us on any such wonderful examples that Rachna Mataji just discussed?
I have hello.
Hare Krishna, Nick
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna.
you're breaking up a little bit, but you're becoming more clear now.
Okay, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to say about when you were going over the Bhagavad Gita and how Krishna doesn't want to fight, and I mean, sorry, how Arjuna doesn't want to fight, and Krishna is saying that he should. I feel like even though we're not in a war per se like that, um, we still gotta kind of live that mentality for like our austerities and like um, to follow the right path and everything like that. I just feel like we're fighting to stay on the same path. Just fighting in a different way, not really physically, but spiritually.
Yes. Thank you so much for that wonderful thought, Nick Prabhuji. Even though we are not in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, every second we are fighting this war against Maya. So yes, you're right. This situation that Arjuna is in is the situation we are all in. Every moment we have to make a choice whether to fight Maya or to just give in to Maya. And like a puppet at the hands of the three modes of material nature, or should we break from these clutches of Maya and surrender to the Lord and do what the Lord wants us to do? So very nice analogy, and this is the basic essence of how we can take Arjuna's experience into our life. And every second, like you said, whether to take up Krishna consciousness or not is like the Kurukshetra war. Every day when our alarm clock rings, whether we need to wake up or not, that is a Kurukshetra war. Um, His Holiness Keshav Swami Maharaj was saying the distance between the material world and the spiritual world is the distance from your bed to the bathroom. And I really like that analogy, because in our life, if we decide to just keep on sleeping and not give importance to our spiritual master's instructions to wake up early and chant our rounds, that is the Kurukshetra war we are all fighting. And to have that mentality to stop our sense gratification of extra sleep and dedicate our the very very auspicious early morning hours for the Lord itself is the fight we all need to do. And if we are able to do that fight every day, we are going to walk that distance between the material world to the spiritual world. But if we don't make that choice like Arjuna does, we're going to be here. So we can whittle it down to that simple measure. All it takes is that distance between your bed to the bathroom. Are we going to walk it or not? Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for relating what we are learning into how we can practically apply spiritual instructions from Krishna every day. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yeah, thank you. Definitely what you were saying about the waking up in the morning. That is a battle for me, man.
Yeah,
I,
yes, Prabhuji.
I used to work overnights, so I would work until the morning, and now getting up early in the morning is a little difficult, but it's all right. We're getting through it. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hari Bol. Thank you for inspiring all of us that you're waking up early even after having a late shift. And you should take care of your body as well, because this is a vehicle the Lord has given to come to Krishna consciousness. So just as we take care of our car, we have to do oil change and do the maintenance so that it can take us from point A to point B. Similarly, we have to take care of our body as well. Prabhuji, if there's any way that you can get out of late shifts and sleep early, because without preparation, we can't have the wonderful opportunity and the mindset to make the best use of our morning hours. So sleeping early to wake up early is also important, and taking care of our health is also important. Thank you, Prabhuji. Are there any other comments or corrections or insights that you'd like to share and inspire all of us? Not, we can conclude the call today with Prem Dhoni prayers. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya Stotra Shata Abhay Charana His Divine Grace Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki
Jai.
Jai. ISKCON BBT founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parvijacharya Stotra Shata His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Jai.
अनेक कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की
Jai.
जय.
Jai.
रामाचार्य हरिदास ठाकुर की
Jai.
जय. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyam Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Jai,
Jai.
Vrindavan Dham ki
Jai.
Jai, Mayapur Dham ki
Jai.
Jai, Jagannath Puri Dham ki Jai,
Jai.
Dwaraka Dham ki Jai,
Jai.
Ganga Mai Yamuna Mai ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Tulsi Devi ki
Jai.
Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Yagya ki Jai,
Jai.
Jai.
Snan Yatra Maha Mahotsav ki Jai,
Jai.
Gaur Premanandi, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
All glories, all
Krishna.
glories, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshadharine Vancha Kalpatarupascha Kripa Sindhupya Evacha Patitanam Pavanepyo Vaishnavepyo Namo Namaha Aneka Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Guru
Jai.
Maharaj ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious week starting with today, Monday. Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol. His grace from Shrilas Prabhuji ki.
Devotees ki jai jai Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, Rachna Mataji. All devotees ki jai. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you very much, Subala Gopal Prabhuji, for hosting this call so that we can all come and discuss. Hare Krishna.